Hello, and welcome to another episode of Purlfect Pairings. My name is Gayanne, and my pronouns are she and her. Before I get started today, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I'm recording, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and I pay my respects to their elders past and present. I acknowledge the often fraught relationship between the Australian farming industry and Indigenous land rights. And I also would like to acknowledge the contribution of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders to the fiber arts community over the millennia. Welcome for all of the viewers who are returning, as well as the new viewers. You are so welcome here in this community. And just by way of background, my name is Gayanne and I podcast from Melbourne, Australia. I am a technical editor, so I edit knitting patterns. I do some test knitting, and I'm just an avid knitter in general. And I love sharing projects on this type of platform with you. Now, normally I would do an interview, but I have been sidelined a bit with my hip injury, and I've had a bit of surgery, was in hospital for a while, and now I'm back, but still just not quite up to driving out for an interview at this stage. So what I thought I would do is share some finished objects with you. I have quite a few of them, and then maybe a few WIPS. And it's been a while since I've recorded an episode like this, so I've got a few fun acquisitions that I'd love to share with you as well. So how about it? We can get stuck in right now. I'm absolutely surrounded by knits. Where should we start first? Great, this one down here is my Cecil shawl. I've been, it's not quite, is it quite finished because I've not woven in the edges, or the ends rather. But this is my Cecil shawl and I am in love with it. It is just the absolute softest thing I have ever knit, I think. The main color, the white color, is a Leesham wool. So Leesham's a farm out of South Australia, and they do the most beautiful, tuck that one in, the most beautiful merino wool, and this is the fingering weight. It does actually look quite thin when you look at it. In terms of a fingering weight wool, but it really plumps up as you knit it. I'm not sure whether I'm going to block this or not. I just love how it is. I don't think it needs it, and that means I can wear it sooner, because in Melbourne in the winter time things don't dry very quickly, so I would be waiting probably a week for this to dry, and I'm not willing to do that. I knit this as just an informal make along with my friend Danny, who you'll know as the Knitter's Suitcase over in Perth, and I think she has recently just finished hers as well, so now we can wear them in twin. My contrast colors are from Owl of Athena Fiber Arts. Let's see if I can get you the colorways. Maybe not. This one is, the pink is Glow Major. And, oh, here are the other ball bands. The blue is called Water. And the last color, let's see if I've got it. No. All right, it's a taupe color. It's gorgeous. This yarn is 74% baby Surrey alpaca, 26% mulberry silk. It's a lace weight, and you hold it with the main color for the sections of the shawl where it is, and some of them are held double, so you can see here where you've picked up both the pink and the brown, and those sections are so soft and squishy, and I think the pattern is really straightforward. I don't want to say it's a mindless knit. It is all garter, but you do have to keep track of where you are in terms of the colors, but it is certainly meditative. and I love the outcome. I would definitely make this pattern again. In fact, I thought it would actually, I might do it in some more, some darker colors maybe, and make one for my husband. It's a lot longer than I actually thought it would be. Not quite Doctor Who length, but getting there. And it's just, whoops, that must be the wrong side. I'm always doing that. I've got a little yarn change there that I'll have to tuck back into the right side, or into the wrong side, but how incredible is that? It was just a delight to knit. And I actually need to get these ends woven in so I can wear it. That's the Cecil shawl. The designer is Twinset and Pearl. It's a, I think 2 sisters, or maybe a sister and a cousin, and they do a lot of their shawls are named after people in their family. I think they might be having a Knit the Family Cal right now too, so I should actually post this. Look at that. It's just so fun. You mix and match the colors, and if you have a look at Danny's shawl and how different it looks from mine, you really get the idea of how the colors can impact just the overall, what it looks like. Yay! Amazing. Loving that. The Cecil shawl. I'm completely tangled. Anyway, I'll get those ends woven in maybe this afternoon. We'll see. And I'll pop that down over there. Now, what's next? I mentioned I was in hospital, and I knew that I would be on some kind of hefty medication, but I also knew I would have some time on my hands and would go crazy without knitting. So I picked a project that I had started. I had, I think, about 10 or 20 rows in, I think, at the time when I went to hospital. But it is a project that was very straightforward, basic. I don't know if I love the word simple, but allowed me to engage my mind, but only to a certain extent did I need to engage it, and it turned out fantastic as well. So this is my Traveler shawl by Andrea Mowry. Let's just make sure I get the right side out. And here it is in all its glory. The construction, woo, I'm blowing out there. The construction of this shawl is really interesting, and I think you can actually see it if I put it on. Well, I started with the dark bits, so you start up here and you knit this triangle, and then stitches are picked up and you knit the second triangle. And I've used this, I've got myself totally tangled up. I've used this color changing yarn. It's right here actually, I'll grab it. It's called Poema Tweed by Lane du Nord. Let's see, if I hold that up, you can see how it goes to that light blue color. I'm blowing out, but there you go. There's a lot of diffuse light coming in this afternoon, so I'll see how it looks on the video, and if I think it needs it, we'll pop in a picture. This yarn is 94% wool, 6% viscose. It's a single, so doesn't have a huge amount of twist. And I thought it would knit up a bit sport weighty. It's probably a bit smaller than I expected it to be. But it is soft, it is cuddly, it has a few medication-induced mistakes in it, but it also tells the story. I had, I think, about 10 rows left to go when I left hospital, so it's my memory of that time. and it was just really a delight to knit. Now Andrea's having a Cal to knit the traveler hat, and the pattern is super, like I said, super simple. Knits and purls mostly with well, the shawl was basic increases, so I'm presuming the hat will be very similar. And I think it was enjoyable for that reason, and it served a real purpose. I think the cardigan would be really fun to knit as well. That would be really fun, or a nice light layering piece. Now that I've knit the shawl, I'll have to go back and have a look at that. See if I might add that to my queue, which feels like it's growing exponentially. Do you feel that way? Sometimes it's like all of a sudden 10 patterns come out and you're like, oh yes, I must make all of these. It's just never enough knitting time. Anyway, I'll lament that later. Traveler shawl, Andrea Mallory, Lane du Nord. Love the size. It's not too overpowering, but it's quite warm. And actually we'll leave it on because it's a bit chilly today here in Melbourne. We're in the late autumn, approaching winter, but we've had quite a stretch of cold days that have got me very chilly. Let's see. This was another great finish. I finished these actually just before I went into hospital. Yay! My Contrast Blast socks. This was the sock MCal that Stephen West or West Knits ran last year. I know it took me a while to finish them, but they are glorious. Look at these socks. They are a little bit big. They are a little bit big for me, but I like the slouchy fit. And I had originally knit them to maybe share with my husband, who has a slightly larger foot than I do, but no, I'm keeping them. They're so cozy. This bit here that has some kind of a bit of a textured stitch is actually really laid down since I blocked them. When they came off the needles, this was so puffy that I thought I'll never get these into shoes, but I wear them. I got them into my sneakers and they'll be fine with boots, no problem. Once I can get my leg into a boot, it'll be great. The yarn. Okay, so I actually have quite a bit of leftover yarn. It's just here. I've got actually 2 balls of this color and 2 balls of this color, both the same size. So when I knit socks, the method that I use is that I wind off 50 grams, 50 gram balls. So for this project, I had 4 balls of yarn, or normally I would just have 2 if I was using the same color. And then what I do is I'll knit, I think these were cuffed down, I'll knit the cuff of one, and then I go and knit the cuff of the second. I'll knit the leg of the first sock, knit the leg of the second sock, and so on until they're both done. And that way they are done at the same time, and there is no second sock syndrome. I am a frequent visitor to Sleeve Island, so I don't know whether I would actually ever finish socks if I didn't do them that way. I'd always have odd socks or one sock. Anyway, colors. Now, hopefully I've got the bands. I think I was using this bag as a project bag. Yes, here we go. I have talked about these in a previous episode when they were a WIP, but I wanted to share this information because I really enjoyed working with this yarn. First color is this dark gray, which is from Half Baked Hand Dyed, and the colorway is the Night of the Hunter. It is superwash merino nylon, standard sock yarn. Loved it. This color has bits of tweed in it as well, and it's this beautiful blue-gray variegated, and then there were a few times where it came out more of a duck egg and a bit of green. Loved working with that because it was just a beautiful surprise when the color changed or if it was a bit different, and it really gave a visual difference that made knitting this very engaging. The yarn is black wattle, tilapia tweed in the color Aurora. There is another sock pattern that has just been released that uses contrasting sock yarn that I already have my eye on for these leftovers. So I'm actually so excited. I've gotten really interested more in knitting socks. There's a lot of it's a bit of a theme here with socks and sock projects, and maybe it's just wanting some quick wins when it seems like everything I'm doing lately is a bit of a longer term project, including working on my rehab. So having a quick win like a sock is really appealing to me. But Contrast Blast, this is not a pattern for the faint-hearted sock knitter. Definitely not vanilla. Each sock is different, like I don't know if you can see how the I guess kind of those little stripes down the front differ on each sock, whether it's the left one or the right one. So there you go. And the heels have that slip stitch, which were fantastic. Love these. Mitts? Who knows? That might be his next pattern. There you go. West Knits pattern inspiration. But Contrast Blast, really fun. Happy they're done and they're a delight to wear. Okay, next WIP. No, next finished object. I've got one more. Put those away and we'll grab this, which is, whoops, oh, drop my crutch. I'll have to get that later. This is the last long pullover. Should I pop it on? I made it for my husband, so it will be a bit big for me, but it will be toasty warm. The Last Long Pullover by Albina McLaughlin. I also finished this before I went into hospital. And quite a bit before, actually. I just haven't podcasted. But I love this. It's half fisherman's rib. It's got a beautiful funnel neck. And I think this is like a modified raglan shoulder construction. It's huge on me. Anyway, I probably have it on backwards. I think I overly blocked it. Maybe not. It's lost a little bit of that plumpness that I love from Half Fisherman's Rib, but it's otherwise fantastic. I love this construction at the top. I really want to make more patterns by Albina McLaughlin. Her patterns are really clear. They have interesting construction and the outcome is just fabulous. And I am going to stand up to see if I can just, sorry about the blowing out of the background, but it's really long because, well, it fits Larry. Anyway, love it. Love, love, love it. The yarn it's a commercially spun yarn that I got at WIPS when I was over in the US a couple of years ago. I don't have the colorway, but I'll put that information in the description box below, so you can just click on that, or you can always ask a question in the comments. But it's Valley Yarns Northampton, and it's a beautiful heathered shade of green. It's got a little bit of pilling, but not too bad considering it's some pretty high rotation right now in Larry's wardrobe. and he's not easy on garments. They'd be in and out of his coats, they'd be on dog walks. He's been pretty active lately, so pretty happy with how the yarn is holding up so far. Murphy did, our dog, help me to block it, so he did his own stretching out on it, so it survived that as well. I have another sweater quantity of this yarn in a beautiful duck egg blue, and I think this afternoon I might actually go have a look at some of Albina's patterns and see if there's anything suitable for it. The yarn was really nice to knit up. It didn't split, and I think for a commercial yarn I'm really happy with it. It was pretty reasonably priced as well, even for even with exchange rates at the time, which were probably around the same as they are now. Anyway, Albina McLaughlin, Last Long Pullover, yay! Valley Yarns Northampton from WIPS. All right, so that is the finished objects. Should I take you through some WIPs? Because I've got a few. We'll just take that off. Sorry about the blowing out again. The sun has come out, decided to come out, which is glorious, but also giving quite a bit of light. Just pop that over there. I have two WIPs that I would like to share with you today. The first one is back here. This is one of my beautiful project bags by A Knitter's Suitcase. Love this project bag. I love a project bag with a drawstring, so that way there's no zipper to get caught. Anyway, this is, drum roll please, my Pierre pullover by West Knits. Just going to fix that so I don't lose any stitches. Get these out of the way, and there it is. I'm going to try and hold it up, see if that's the side. That would be the front. I'm almost done with the yoke, and I do love this pattern. I did rip it back 3 times to the neck. I think I got through the triangle section 3 times, and it just wasn't right. It didn't look like the picture. The eyelets, the yarn over increases weren't lining up properly, and I gave up on it. Then picked it back up, tried it again, ripped it back again, and then I emailed the tech support there because I just didn't understand why my pattern didn't look like the one in the sample. And I had a beautiful email back, actually just a beautiful customer service experience with Teresa over at West Knits, and she didn't understand my problem at first, which is probably more of a issue with my communicating it to her. And then once we worked it out, she kindly sent back the instructions that I needed, and it has worked out beautifully, and I'm so happy with it now. I'm into the second color. The yarn for this is an incredible fade set from Natural Yarn Company, or Natural Yarn Co. It's their eucalyptus fade, and they have just put together, it's over there, the other colors. I think I'll leave it as a surprise, but it just goes into this most beautiful blue, and I can't wait to keep working on this project. It's really fun to just have these short bursts of texture, and it always keeps it interesting. It's the first time that I've done a fade like this, and I think it's looking great. Yeah, I'm knitting this because the podcaster Andrea over at Knit LA 55 is having a cow called the Pierre Affair. And I think I still have a few more weeks of her cow. I know I feel like I'm a cow fail this year, but that's all right. We won't worry about that. It's motivated me at least to get it started. And look, I'm almost done with the yoke. The rest of it's going to knit up very quickly. I might not make it as long. No, I will definitely make it that long because I've planned out the colors, but it's going to be fabulous and I will love it when it's done. It's, the yarn is, I think 100% superwash merino. It was a super fine merino. I'll figure that out and put that in the description box as well. But Pierre sweater for the Pierre Affair cow. Look up Andrea on Instagram or YouTube. She's got an incredible aesthetic. She does some really interesting projects, always working with beautiful yarn as well. So, yeah, loving this project. More on that hopefully in a few months. That'll be done. And I say a few months because I'm going to need to park this for a little bit, I think, because I've got a beautiful, beautiful pattern on the go, and that's down here. Here we go. This is the start of my Alma cardigan by Sana & Co. Susanna Kartinen, who I am lucky enough to consider a friend, designs beautiful sweaters. If you don't know about her, please look her up on Ravelry or on her website, which I will also link below. This is actually the first time I've done corrugated ribbing. I'm a little bit worried it might be a bit tight, but I think it's got quite a bit of stretch. So this is the start of the Alma cardigan, and I'm so happy with it. There's a little Melbourne knitters group that I'm in, and in that community we're doing a colorwork cow. So this project couldn't be timed better for that cow. The yarn I'm using is the Louis and Lola Merino Possum DK, and its two colorways are Pinot, which is, you know, one of my favorite colors, and the other color, my contrast color, is Natural. And these are going to make a gorgeous, gorgeous Alma cardigan. Karina from Louis and Lola has graciously donated the yarn for my knit, and it's going to be a sample knit for Susanna to bring around to shows so people can see it. So I want it to be amazing, and well, the pattern is already amazing, but I've got to translate that into amazing knitting. And what I have started to do is I knit a huge swatch. So my swatch was almost 100 stitches around. I think it was 70 something stitches, because I wanted to be able to do the colorwork motif on the front and the back so I could practice with the colorwork. And I started doing colorwork with two hands. So I was picking with my left hand and using that for the dominant color, so for the natural color, and throwing with my right hand with the main color. And it was so tight. I couldn't believe it. I am such a loose knitter. I never make gauge. I always have to go up in needle size. This was like, or sorry, down in needle size. This was like something out of a different realm. Where I had the magic loop join, there was actually like a lump because it was so tight. And where I had the other side of the magic loop where I had my steek stitches, the middle steek stitch was so tight. I don't actually think I could have gotten my scissors in between the stitches to clip it. Anyway, thought about that for a while. I didn't really want to go up a needle size anymore because the stitches would then get really big and then just be really big and tight and dense. So here's what I did. I went out and bought one of these little rings, one of these little color work rings. So you put it on your finger like that, and how I've been doing it, and I'm not sure this is the correct way, but it's worked really well for the ribbing, is that I put the dominant color here and the background color here. So I've got my main color on this one and my contrast color here, and I've just been able to flick, do my continental knitting, and it's coming out really well. I don't, the purl stitches when I first did it, I thought when I was doing it two-handed, I thought were really messy, and now they've really neatened up. The stitches look quite even. I'm just really happy with how it's coming out. I've just got a few more rows of the ribbing before I start the color work section as well, so I'm super excited because that's the really fun part about color work, and to have it at a time when I'm doing a cal with another, I guess, knitting in community with other local knitters, and hopefully we'll be having some meetups soon, and I'll be able to meet everybody in person from that group. It will be really, really fun and special. So Alma Cardigan, actually tech edited this pattern, so hopefully you like it. Hopefully it's clear. I know the math is right, so it's all good. Susanna Kartinen, yarn is Louie and Lola Possum GK, and it's literally the softest yarn I think I've ever knit with. I think that's true. The Lisa Mole is beautiful. I might have said that same thing about the Lisa Mole, but this is really plump. It's round. I'm pretty sure it's woolen spun. I'm nervous to steek, but should I do it live on Instagram? Live steeking on Instagram when it's time? Let me know in the comments. Do you have any steeking mishaps? I have done a steeking class, so I'm feeling okay about it. I might need some moral support though. Amazing. Alma Cardigan. Love that. Now, okay, on to some acquisitions. I haven't recorded a podcast like this since my trip to Tasmania, where I was able to interview Karina from Louie and Lola. Go back and watch that episode if you've missed it. We had a really good chat about her background, and I loved getting to know her better through that process as well. So I couldn't not come home without something from Louie and Lola, so got it all tidy here, and I've picked up 2 skeins of her Merino singles, which is 100% superwash Merino single ply. This is in the color Dark Forest. It probably looks quite black in this light, but it is a gorgeous dark green. I bought this with the Excelso, it's the Excelso shawl by Vera Marcoux in mind, and I think I will still make that with this when I get around to it. I've got a few other shawl projects that are in train, that are WIPS, that I'd like to finish first. But that's definitely on my list. An all over lace shawl. It's beautiful. Fabulous pattern by Vera Marcoux that I think will look gorgeous in the green. It will just look like beautiful summer leaves. Maybe that is a good project to do for the summer. Karina was incredibly generous with me as well. When she learned that I wanted to do some spinning, well, I think she couldn't have let me go home without a few fiber packs. So she's gifted me from Natural Fiber Arts this beautiful top. She knows I love pink. So this one from Kathy's Fibers, because Kathy's Fibers, right, is just spectacular. Look at that. Ah! I think it's going to spin up beautifully, but I am holding off to spin these when I learn how to spin on a proper wheel, which I will hopefully be doing in the next few months once I'm at a better stage with my recovery and can sit and bend a little bit better. I live really close to the Hand Weavers and Spinners guild, so their guild office. So there's really no excuse for me not to trot down there and take a class, except for when I actually can't trot. So once I'm 100% better and moving around a bit better, look out, because I have a feeling I will be unstoppable at that point. Other Louie and Lola goodies that came my way, and I have posted this on Instagram, but was this beautiful project page by Thread and Maple, which I have loaded up with my crochet hooks, some cords, and I've chucked all of my Knit Pro interchangeables in here. Well, not all of them, the ones that aren't on the floor or in projects or whatever. And this is just beautiful. The leather is gorgeous. The construction is gorgeous. It's got this little pocket in here too. And I just really love it. Thank you, Karina, for that. The other acquisition I got is that Karina has been doing kits for Susanna Cartonen's overlay sweater and vest. And I had to get a kit because I have loved this pattern ever since it was on the cover of Pom Pom. I've got the magazine, it's right over here. I had Susanna sign it ages and ages ago. So here's my kit. It's got these fun colors. Look at that mohair. And then there's one more. Oh no, two more. I can't even. Here they are. In these beautiful colors. And I am going to make the vest because I think the vest version will be really versatile for probably 3 seasons of the year in Melbourne. And I loved these colors. So this is a mohair silk. Let's see, I can grab got the ball bands inside here. So this one, I'm pretty sure it's the Tassie Cormo. Yeah, it's Cormo fingering by Lexington Woolies. This is the Aurora Australis color. I want to say this one is natural again, but I could be wrong. Richmond, this color is Richmond, and then the brown is, sorry, I should have written this down, Mount Roland, that's right, which is literally in Karina's backyard. but I cannot wait to knit this up. This yarn is very, very soft. I would say it's superfine merino soft. It's not, excuse me, not as plump as the merino possum, but it's, well, it's fingering weight in any event. It's different weight, so it's probably not the best comparison, but it's definitely next to skin soft, even though it's not merino. So if you've been wondering about Cormo, it's a Corriedale merino sheep. So one parent Corriedale, one parent merino makes a Cormo. I suppose Cormos can make other Cormos, but that's a farming thing. So maybe we need a Cormo farmer to interview. I'd love that. Anyway, this project is waiting to get going. Maybe after my Alma cardigan is done. But again, I've just got got a lot of knits on the go. And well, I'll just be using my time now during my rehab slowdown period to do a bit more knitting. How about that? Held in another beautiful project bag by Knitter's Suitcase. So I love Danny's bags. Right, so the last acquisition that I will talk about today is I am waiting so patiently for the Summerlee sock project to get restocked in Australia, but I just couldn't wait. I'm getting so excited about socks and sock knitting that I went in, I saw this in my local bookshop and I had to get it. So it's volume 2 of Lina Publishing's 52 Weeks of Socks, and I've had the first one for ages, and in fact I've never made a sock out of it. Right? So I have no business getting volume 2, but I just thought, like, look at these, right? Beautiful. And I love it. And it's just not to make every pattern, but the inspiration that it gives. And I love, actually just really like reading the sock patterns. And for me in, excuse me, for me in technical editing, I like to see how things are, or how people are expressing themselves in a pattern. For example, heel turns seem to be my kryptonite. So I've been reading every heel turn instruction. Oh, these, look at these. Brioche slouchy socks. I'm there for them. Really, like, these are incredible. They'd be fantastic in my boots. And now it's fingering weight. I thought there's a great pattern for the DK socks in here too. And I think DK socks are going to be a thing, especially if you're in Melbourne. And I've just got a hot tip that there's a new DK sock pattern coming out soon that I might have edited. So more on that later. There's one more thing that I want to share with you, acquisition that I want to share with you, but I will need to go get it. I went to a maker's market, not really thinking that there would be any yarn there, but the Fibersmith, who do hand-dyed yarn, was there, and I couldn't resist. So I bought this set of minis, which are these beautiful blue, gray, and green tones. And in fact, I think that's pretty black, that one there. And I've had some ideas about what I want to make with these guys, and I finally landed on it. and it's this, which I will share with you from the first 52 weeks of socks. They are called, and I hope I've got them, nope, they're in the front half, I think. I'll find them. They're called Morning Coffee, and the pattern is just beautiful. Page 53, if you own the book. Here we go, getting there. Here they are. They're just a beautiful textured sock, and I think they're going to be gorgeous in these colors. Just a restful fade, but also different. So I've got to get those wound up. I had my husband set up my winder downstairs for me, and I'm leaving it up for a while because I keep wanting to start new projects and wind some yarn. I think we probably all go through phases like that where we just want to start new things, and the feeling that you get from casting on a new project, whether it's cast-on-itis, if you want to couch it as that, or just the promise of something new and different to vary what you're doing, I guess, routinely, can also just, I don't know, give you that little bit of a lift. And for me, that's been really important the last couple of weeks. So anyway, I think that's it. I have been reading, well, I listened to an audiobook while I was in hospital, A Court of Thorn and Roses, and I'm on the second book, which is A Court of Mist and Fury, and I'm really enjoying them. They're a bit racy, maybe for some people, because in some points I couldn't actually believe it was a young adult book, but I suppose if it's young adult rather than teen fiction, then it's probably a bit better. But it was a bit racy, but it's a good story. It's very, I'm really enjoying it. It's fantasy, so it's not really that, it's just a nice kind of escapist literature, so that's been kind of fun and different for me. But I'm also reading The Dry by Jane Harper, which is an Aussie detective kind of copper book, and I'm really enjoying that too. So I think that's pretty much me in a nutshell for the last 6 weeks. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. And please give me a comment. Who would you like me to interview next, maybe in the comments? I've got a few lined up, people that I have reached out to already to interview that I really want to bring to the forefront and highlight. And we have so many special makers and creators and wool producers that I might never run out. So you're stuck with me for a while. Anyway, until next time, everybody, I hope your projects are bringing you joy and you don't have to rip back that often. And when you do, that you know that it's just a learning experience and that your knitting will be better for it. And until next time, happy knitting!